Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you fine from the beginning.
Okay, because it just stopped moving on me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know we on the air.
And you and right now you're not moving, but I hear you well.
Okay, 'cause, like I said, technology is not all it's cracked up to be. This
Exactly.
is Bill Strickland, everybody. He is just an amazing. You are just an amazing person. You really are, and just as humble. Has it? How has this being in this part of the business? Because is this completely different? With you and the cohorts and the Polk Institute and what you do. Tell people what you do, because what you guys and you men and women are doing is just phenomenal. And people need to know about this. They really need to know about this.
Well,
So,
we what we've done as a institute, and it started by Gary Polk, who
mm,
ironically went to the same college I did. I just went 7 or 8 years ahead of him.
mm.
But he was a professor, a former banker and insurance executive who decided to try to help young people start businesses,
Mhm.
and it's called a incubator, and for small businesses. So what he's done is focus, and what we do is focus on black and brown women and military entrepreneurs
Mhm.
in a space we define as social entrepreneurship, where we kind of, as opposed to capitalism that always looks at the bottom line and like your net worth and your value as a person is your bottom line or net worth. What we try to do is focus on people, planet, and then the profit. And
Triple
so,
that triple bottom line.
triple bottom line, there you go. And so that we can have an impact in our communities and with young people who are trying to establish some self-determination. And what has happened is, just like with some of the athletes, they aspire to do things,
Mhm.
but sometimes they are lack a mentor or some guidance or just some basic understanding of what a balance sheet means, what
Mhm.
earn rate means, what a cash flow means, having to file taxes. And that was big with the athletes. A lot of them just thought, okay, I'm making $1 million a year. Well, no, you ain't taking $1 million home.
No, see, can
Uncle
you
Sam
just
gonna
speak the
dip.
truth? Can you? They think, and this is really true. If I had half the money that people think I have, you
Mhm.
know, I'm just saying, and it's been unfortunate, but it's getting better as these athletes, and a lot of them come from black and brown communities, and where finances are never discussed. You know,
Yes.
people, mothers and fathers don't have bank accounts. They're still putting money up under in between the bed, up under the bed. You got the little thing, and I used to carry a little change pocket, hooked in my bra like my grandmama did. So you always have, baby, always keep cap there with you. If it's right here, they can't do it, and put it in the bottom of your shoe. That was the financial that was our financial
The
lesson,
approach.
pay as you go and you won't owe. And I couldn't understand that, because people in our community, well, now nobody had credit cards.
Right.
Nobody ever went to the bank. We had this little Jewish guy that would come, literally, he would come through the projects and he would cash everybody's social security checks and their veterans check. And he only charged you $20 on 100. And I was like, what they charging now? The loan sharks were better than that, and they don't understand about, finances and, the APRs, and they don't. And then when you take somebody who is robbing Peter to pay Paul to come from that environment. And it's like going from zero to like $1 million. They
Right.
really don't know how to financially handle that. And I used to say, well, how do these athletes go broke? Can you talk about that for a minute? Because they're still coming up, and some of what's the dude name? The new guy for the Dodger, Otani.
Yes.
How does his interpreter able to access $14 million of this man's money out the bank, and he didn't even miss it.
Well, he found out about it, but unfortunately, that occurs. But what happens a lot of times is with professional athletes, they get so consumed by the training, the schedule, the travel, and all the peer pressures that they turn to some people, and sometimes it's to the wrong person. And then they sign a power of attorney. And the next thing you know, that person is siphoning off their money. And this is not just with athletes, it's with anybody, that's in this spotlight, that's occupied by what they're trying to do and saying, I need to trust uh,
Somebody.
somebody. And what has happened, though, in sports is that the unions have tried to certify financial advisors, planners, and stuff. And it's been kind of a mixed bag and stuff, but you have occasions, even with families. I've had at least two or three situations where a family member will come in and say, I want my money. I said, wait a minute, we're out there playing. It's your money? How is it your money? Well, he's related to me. Well, that's true. He's related, but it's his money and he has to decide. And I've had two situations where I had to go at two uncles who didn't care about his status. One young man had just been waived out of the league, no longer making that money. And his uncle said, I want what he promised me. And so that kind of sinks you down, but you've got to be strong enough to say, look, I represent this young man and I'm going to protect him as best I can. And that means protect him, period. And that also means getting involved with prenuptial agreements, lawsuits, child custody fights. You've seen the stories over time. And unfortunately, there are people like the rest of us. They have the same kinds of issues like the rest of us. It's just theirs is magnified by virtue of their popularity and the visibility and by virtue of the money that is around them.
And people been there, done that. I'm like, okay, you talking to me like this? And when well, he my cousin, that's my dude. I've been with you for the whole time. You told me. And what was the name? I'm gonna call the child's name when you talk about family in sports. Michael Vick.
Yes.
Who just knew, and he had no problem helping his family. But then when he said, okay, whoever told him, okay, that's enough, didn't one of his relatives who was supposed to be close to him rat him out about cockfighting, and the guy lost all of this?
Well,
we fam. I'll take you down. Shut up, mother love.
but I have come to appreciate and learn that it takes, I think, special support and a special family to appreciate the pressures that their relative is subject to, and that they don't need to come to the party with additional pressure. And there are some players who I could name some names that you would know where the mother was more important than they were, better known. Our uncle right now is better known than the player is known because of the way he exerts himself. And the player capitulates to the family, trying to be loving and supporting, not appreciating that it's impacting his image and his right to earn a living in pro sports. And there have been players that had talent that were released and sent home because of family issues.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's not a meritocracy in terms of talent. There have been talented players who have been deprived of their opportunities because of the other pressures outside of, sometimes outside of the family and sometimes inside of the family, because the franchises are trying to protect themselves. They don't want to have, unless he's extraordinarily talented and they kind of look the other way. It generally doesn't happen that way. And when the majority of the owners are white, they're going to have their other little biases. I've had two players cut because they were going out with white women at the time. Now, this was in the early 90s, and not that it's changed much since, but they were clearly let go because of who they were dating in the wrong city and wrong state.
Okay, but they making money for the city and the state, and you need to be all up in their Kool-Aid like that. You gonna be pissed off about who they dating?
If you're gonna protect, you're
Okay.
gonna do it. Like I said, I've done more prenuptials than I care to talk about, but that's something where when you represent them, you have to protect them and their money. And of course, you've had books written by, let's say, liaisons who would talk about different players in the league and all the relationships they've had and where they've gained some money and they become targets. that's one of the hardest things I have found to try to educate young men, because I said, look, if you lay down with a lady and whatever happens, all you
Mm,
got to do is walk out that room and say, hey, you abused me. And now
ri-
you got a problem.
right. And I have heard this firsthand. I didn't even realize because I've been out. My husband and I, we've been together so long. We date at the Costco and at the Walmart. I'm just telling you, that's our dating thing, you know. And we only go in there. I was so glad when they came back with the little samples of the food in the Costco. Okay, so I could not. I don't understand how. No, I don't understand how people can get themselves into these high profile positions and are the limelight, just the star shining, and then you go and throw it all away because who you want to sleep with. And you know what? I'm so tired of people saying, oh yeah, I slept with so and so, and you ain't slept nowhere with them. If you went to sleep, you ain't get no number 2 date. Shut up. You're not sleeping with anybody. You're in there banging boots, and I'm gonna get pregnant. I gotta go, man, in my uterus. And I'm like, I would have never, I'm so outdated. So I had some friends, well, I thought they were my friends,
Mhm.
you know, and we met at events and what happened. They came out to LA and was for the All-Star basketball game.
Yeah.
And beautiful women. I only told two of them they could come. And in my house, in our home. Each one of them brought a friend. So now instead of having them take care of 2 other people, now I got to take care of 4 other people, right? And they
Right.
up there getting dressed and, oh, look what it oh, she doing so what. I can't wait. I ain't coming back. I ain't taking no kind. And this is what they're talking about while they're getting ready. That their goal was to sleep with an NBA player or somebody that worked in the NBA. And this was a plot. This, I mean, and we love men, we do, but some of you guys could be like just so stupid. Okay, if she ready to fling her legs over wide like that, you need to be running.
Yeah, but they don't run because you know what? Men like skirts. So
You ain't stop. Wait, I forgot. I have to have water with you, and I have to do it because I was getting ready to go all over the screen because men don't think with the right head.
well, I'm gonna leave that alone. But
Well, I'm just see now. You had to go there. You did not even have to go there. Come on, Bill, work with a sister. Come on, see, like we don't know. As soon as you went back like this, you was with me. And to educate them, and because I have seen it happen. These kids come out of high school, and they're like the phenom, and they get them into college, and they give them everything. And now, and they buy my mama a house. Okay, I want you to get a gravestone for my father. He been dead 25 years. He don't have a grave, whatever it is. And
right.
they're used to getting what they want. And when you hand them what they want, and they feel like then they start feeling like they're entitled. And
Right.
what is that road like when you see because Quincy Jones told us this many years ago. He said, Mother Love, I just want you out. And this is when I first came out here. He said, Mother, I want you to know, money doesn't change people. Money only makes people more of who they really are. And did you see? I'm sure you saw that. And they were like, I could do whatever I want. You don't get to tell me what to do. I'm so and such and such. And then the thunder goes out. Then the light goes out. Then what do? How can you prepare them? Because what you've done in the NFL and the NBA, it is really applicable to what you're doing with the Polk Institute. Yes.
Exactly. And with the cohorts of the Polk Institute, what we're getting a lot of times are young people who are trying to establish what I consider to be, through entrepreneurship, self-determination, self-guides, controlling their own direction. And I respect that because I've seen so many of us that had an opportunity to do that and blew the opportunity or got caught up in other things. And we have a current case right now where I remember when that gentleman was at Howard University.
Mm-hmm.
And you see now where he is. And it's really, really unfortunate because of the reach of his domain that he established through effort. but also through foolishness,
Mhm.
as it's going to be proven in court, unfortunately. But it is tough because a lot of times, I come off of welfare rolls, and I know had I not been injured, first thing I would have done is bought my mother a home. I actually bought her a car because she never owned a car, and home, just to have someplace where she could settle. So I can understand that motivation. And even some of these young men come out and buy these mansions, and it's just them. But it's part of saying, okay, I've arrived. Fortunately, I've also worked with some young men that have come back and say, I now don't need that. I can, a Volkswagen can get me where a Rolls Royce is going to take me. I can be lonely in a mansion, but or content in a mansion, true, but you can
Mhm.
be content in $100,000 home with the right spouse or partner.
Mhm.
So those are things, and that's part of growing up and maturing. And it's just difficult in part because of the money that surrounds and the notoriety. But with our cohorts, what is interesting, we have people who are aspiring, like I said, to establish businesses. We
Mhm.
had I recall last year we had a young man, 14 years old, and
Mhm.
came into our pitch competition. And he stood up on that stage at 14 by himself, and he said, as his little hook, my name is Captain Stinky. Known in my neighborhood as Captain Stinky. And I sit back, I say, oh, okay, now what you gonna say? He said, but I've learned how to correct that because I've gone in my mother's bathtub, put together some soaps and some lotions
Mhm.
that I now sell as my product. And I'm not known as Captain Stinky anymore. And he said, I'm working on a deodorant. 14 years old. That's what I love to see. And then you see others who are anything from psychological counseling with music to producing AI work, artificial intelligence. So we have a broad range of individuals that come to us. We have what we call as a incubator, which is
Mhm.
when they're just getting started and you're dealing with um, principles of the triple bottom line, mental fitness, um, personal finance, corporate finance, operations, human resources. And some of these people have never been exposed to that. Then you get the accelerators who are generally a little more advanced in their business
Mhm.
and understand some of the basic principles. And we invite in professionals from the industries. And then we've got a legacy program where you've been in business 10 years, you
Mhm.
have gross sales of $500,000 or more, and they act as mentors for the younger people coming through. And we even have some people who have advanced degrees that are coming in saying, I'm thinking about this business. I'm not quite sure how to do it. So we try to teach them about becoming a.
Oh, wait, you just said that word one too many times for me to me, Bill. I'ma try. We gonna try. You guys are not trying. You guys are doing it. You are in there I mean, from the bottom up, from the top down. You ain't trying to do none of that, sir. You are doing it.
Well,
So that
yeah,
word, just it just get up in it to try. You're doing it. You took it from here to here to here. And the
yeah.
fact that you are willing to share your expertise and your knowledge of how business is conducted. We, especially in our community, we've seen so many people say it future want to be future entrepreneurs, but they don't do something. Where's that gap from thought to bringing it out there? And what would you say to the new entrepreneurs? Because I've been to some of the cohorts meetings and the presentation, and I'm like, oh, that's right. And people, there's so many people that need your help. What should they? Because you said we can start from the bottom, and we'll take you where you need to go. You can start in the middle, take you where you need to go. You can start at the when you get at the top, and you realize you're really not at the
Reinforce.
top. There's more growth, and we can grow, and you can always grow stronger and smarter and better in business. What do you see is one of the biggest mistakes, or several of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs or think they're entrepreneurs do, and and they really just don't know what to do?
Well, I think one of the problems is how to position yourself to gain investors or the right partners in your business.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing enough homework. I see situations where sometimes there's not enough say positive thinking about stuff, but wait a minute, you there?
Can you see me? I can hear you.
I don't know what happened. Oh,
Uh,
you know what? Oh man.
Are you tearing up the equipment?
No. Just give me a chance. And
Okay, well, why you doing that? We got people on the line. You don't have to
okay.
try to get up. You just get up. That's
All
what
right.
C-Town say. That's my C-Town. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. And the baby, can you do it if you put it up to that's one of my tutelage. He's under my tutelage. He also says nothing comes to a sleeper but dreams and nightmares. The best way on your feet is getting off your butt.
Well,
See,
let me share this with you. I gotta turn my phone off. I think my phone interrupted.
well, you're breaking up. Wait a minute.
Are you? Can you hear me?
Wait a minute. I got you up on. I don't know where he went.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
One of the things that you were asking.
Okay. Okay. There we go.
Okay. One of the things you were asking me too about the mistake. They run the gamut.
Mm-hmm.
However, I say philosophically to a lot of the cohorts, behold the turtle, for he only makes progress with his neck stuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Behold the turtle, for you only make progress with your neck stuck out, which means you gotta take some risk.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm hearing every other word from you. Let me see if I can. Okay. Say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, behold the turtle,
I don't know.
for he only makes progress with his neck stuck out.
I don't know what's going on up here, Bill.
Can
you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, I can hear you now. I can see you licking over your glasses. Y'all be cracking me.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out why we have a double voice.
Yeah. Oh, you do have a double voice. Yeah. Let me see if I can get rid of this one.
You can get rid of all.
No, we're not getting rid of all of them. No. Okay. The engineer is here to help us. Okay. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. We're back in pocket.
I hear myself, but
okay.
it's fine. I hear you fine.
Anyway, okay, we getting feedback because that's what the problem is. We're getting feedback from you, and I can hear every other word. And I know you're saying some smart, intelligent stuff that people need to know. Oh, he's telling me, hold on, don't be. Oh, my head and got bigger than my body now. Good Lord Jesus.
Oh, you look fine.
Thank you very much.
So
when I first started losing weight, and I'm like, I lost 111 pounds, and I've kept it off for 20-something years.
Really?
I'm gonna do a reset right quick.
You need to sell that solution out there.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Can you still hear me? So anyway, after I lost weight, I couldn't wear anything. And when you lose weight, I didn't realize when you lose weight, my head got smaller, my wigs was too big, my shoes were too big. I mean, I had to go do a whole nother. This is like having two wives, and I ain't got to cheat on my wife. See this one right here. You know how nasty y'all could be. And then when I could go in, and I've always been a pretty snazzy dresser, I would say. When people are sitting up, my mama said, baby, look, we big. Decorate yourself pretty because they can see you coming. Don't be looking. You want to look good from far away, and every time you get a little closer, they're going, hey, that's a good looking woman right there.
Yeah.
We just didn't go through that. My brothers and all of them was athletic. You know, we talk about the sports in high school and everything. I had to go to school 6 days a week.
Wow, really?
Not because I was slow or anything, because they accelerated. I was in an incubator class. And I didn't know what that was when I heard that way back then. So, okay, now we're back. Okay, so now I was asking you, what are some of the missteps or misthoughts that you see young entrepreneurs do that can be corrected? And what do you see as some of their biggest mistakes?
I think sometimes they don't drink well enough and tell themselves no, when the market could influence that decision whether to proceed forward or not. So
Mhm.
you have to be aspirational in your dream. I think though, you just don't jump out and say, I'm gonna be so and so. What you got to do is put in the work.
Mm.
And that's where a lot of times with the young people, they find out it's not easy and they pull back. There was a gentleman that spoke to us a couple months ago, and he said, I'm an overnight success after 25 years. That's profound when you think about having to grind for that period of time to reach a level what you yourself consider to be successful. And I've always believed you need to believe in yourself, and sometimes you don't have that reinforcement to where the light goes on and you say, I can do this, particularly when you're in a compressed marketplace.
Oh, this is working my nerve. Um, when you talk about being this way and being involved the way that they need to be, because it is work, it is a business. This we didn't just fall out the sky and all of a sudden this is in our path. No, my mother said something to me, God rest her soul, long time ago. She came out here to California. I'm from Ohio. She came out to California to see to see me and do the things that. And she couldn't believe I was making that much money to talk on the radio. And I said, don't never show your mama and them your paycheck. Now, I don't care who said that. Do not show your mama and them the paycheck. They'll lose their mind. She said, and I don't know why. And I worked that night. And so I kept come up with me. I paid every Tuesday. I said, Mama, come on, ride with me into LA. So she came in and I went up to get my check and I came back down. She said, can I see your paycheck? And my first thought was, no, don't do it. And I went, that's your mother. She'll be all right. And I said, she opened her. She said, they pay you this kind of money to run your mouth? I said, Mother, I'm a talk show host. I keep telling her what it was that I did. She said, her words, verbatim. So you done con these white people into paying you this kind of money to run your mouth. I asked one, do they know you gonna run your mouth anyway? And you con these people to pay you this kind of money? From that day to the day she died, she never called me by my name again. She said, well, hell, you mother love to me. When your mama call you mother love. And after that, I said, what's your real name? Google it. I'm not, my mama called me mother love. And the day before she died, she was, I was on the First Prince of Bel-Air, and she was calling all her friends. And we're talking. She said, I got to hang up. I got to tell everybody you on First Prince of Bel-Air. Click. My mama hung up on me. And to explain that to people, it's like being in the military. When you do what you do, you say, I'm a transactional attorney. They go, what? I'm the COO of what? Or what's our cohort? What? I know you probably get that. So they're not prepared to do the work. And when they find out it's work, they back up.
Yeah, my mother, and I grew up without my father, but my mother had a sixth grade education, and she was a strong, straight, foundational woman. And when she heard I was establishing my own company, she asked me off and said, well, what are you doing up there playing around? I said, no, this is work 24/7, 365. Now, you mentioned Ohio.
Mhm.
What
Cleveland?
I've got last count about 138 relatives in Cleveland.
Wait a minute, say it again. Wait, say it again.
I have last count at a family reunion. Of course, it was about 10 years ago, 138 relatives in Cleveland.
Oh Lord, don't tell me we related.
Now, no, I don't
No,
know. But
listen,
I'm gonna
you don't
say
even
this.
know. You don't even know. That's why we have family reunions, because you don't even know who are these people.
Well, let me tell you this. Do you know where John Legend is from?
I know where John Legend.
Yes.
The artist, the singer, he's up from he a Buckeye too.
He's from Springfield, Ohio.
Little bitty tiny town like about this many big.
Well, it was
Where
big
you
enough
from?
to let me be born there.
Wait a minute, they let you be born? Say that again.
I'm saying it was large enough to let me be born there, and I've never eaten a cat or a dog.
Re-
We're gonna let it go.
See, you know, I don't make them crazy like this, y'all. They come to me like this. You know, I had somebody ask me one day, one of these big wig women who, she just doing all kind of big things, Wendy Gadney. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, how you know Wendy? I'm like, I can't know her. I can't know you. You know, they act like, well, and when you're out here and you come from back east, they think all black people know all the other black people. And you just and you got the Ohio nod already. You already got we could be related, but genetics say we are all 6 degrees separated. We're only 6 degrees of separation. And our community, and it seems like that. Did you oftentimes, or did you feel at times that you had to be a father figure to these young guys that are coming into the professional sports because they didn't have that male foundation, from their dads or whatever, or who, from their dads and his men and their families? Did you find yourself mentoring them more like a father figure?
At times, yeah. One of the things we say in the Institute is that the cohorts have to be coachable. So if they're coachable, that means they're willing to at least listen. They may not follow all your advice, but they will hear you. Same way with the pro athletes. We try to set an example by being upstanding myself. 30 years I was sued one time. Mm-hmm. I would point to that and say it's a reflection of how I try to conduct myself and hold myself within restrictions of character. That is, what are you doing when nobody's watching?
You got to dance like nobody's watching because you don't know who's watching. Exactly. You never know. And I used to say, I can't be a mentor. I need to be mentored, and I'm always a student. I am always a student. And so we talk about success because success is different for everybody. Do you agree with that?
Without question, absolutely. Mm-hmm. In fact, when you said about observing, I've shared some cohort story about my youngest daughter. Mm-hmm. She was about 4 years old. I had a client who came over who had tattoos and body art, and she had never seen that in her life. Mm-hmm. He fell asleep after he ate, and she was creeping up, looking at his shoulders and looking at all of this stuff. Do you know, about 2 weeks later, I'm helping her clean up her room. Mm-hmm. And I noticed on her baby doll some black marks. And then I told my client, I said, you influenced my daughter without even trying, just by your presence. So understand what implications there are with that. As millions of kids look at you, how are you conducting yourself? You don't know who you're setting an example for. And fortunately, he was one of the good guys. Took care of his kid. He had some difficulties in marriage at the end of his career, but he's still an outstanding father. And I understand his youngest is about to graduate from college.
How about that? And you never know who's watching you. That's why you got to be, you have to be kind to everybody, even people that you don't care for. That's when you can really find the measure of a man or a woman, when they can love people that are hard to love, when they can see that light in some people that don't even realize that they have a light. I mean, you hear about these horror stories about these young boys and girls being groomed by the coaches and the doctors, and having to navigate through all of that, something that they should ever have to deal with that. I mean, what they were doing, and how were you able to keep them, in safe arms, keep them in a safe environment? Because there's predators out there trying to claw every little bit you get.
It was difficult, but by the nature of the league and the collective bargaining agreements, you have an opportunity to hold that out as out of parameters of your conduct, because you can be terminated for poor conduct.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Vick. I had a client a year before Michael Vick where local police came into his home and removed floorboards because they had blood on it from dog fight a year before Michael Vick. And I had to tell him, I said, you think this may be a normal activity in your neighborhood, but the league and the team is not going to accept that. So if you want to continue to earn your well-being, then you got to understand that you can't engage in those activities. And of course, a year later, Michael Vick ran into this problem.
And one of his relatives turned, just wigged out on him. Well, if I can't have this, I'm just going to, I got a bigger fish than this.
Yes, that's exactly the case. And so it's hard sometimes. I remember a gentleman just learning, but he had good parents around him. But again, innocent mistakes. Like, for an example, leaving his home during the winter on a road trip to play games, and he turned off all the water in the house, and the pipes burst. And his dad had to go back in and replumb the condo. There was nothing wrong with that. He just didn't know. He never owned property before.
That's another thing. You're talking about, especially the young ones that, they go from, as they say, rags to riches. And when they get the riches, and I know what that's like. I remember Quincy Jones telling me, he said, I just want to tell you this, baby. I just want you to know that when you blow through your first $1 million, this is a business for you. And I'm looking at him like he done blew a third eye in the middle of his forehead. Me. He's like, there's no way in AG double hockey sticks times 12 I would blow $1 million.
It was gone.
I didn't blow it. I really didn't blow it. I spent it. I spent it on things like artwork. I love collecting art, and I've been doing this for a long time. I'm very into, especially our African American and our female artists. And I was like, okay, with all the stuff I bought, I could pawn it.
Yeah. And that's why when they get into the multiple vehicles, how many cars can you drive at one time?
One car at a time. That's it. Well, don't say that to Jay Leno.
One of it. I had a young man, his first year in the league, he made about $650,000. Mm-hmm. He loaned his brother some money, did some other things. He bought I think it was a 12-room former seminary in a cold climate, and just start complaining about trying to keep the heat in the building. At the end of that year, he came into the office almost crying because all he had was $25,000. And I said, well, why did you buy that 12-room, 12-bathroom seminary where a bunch of priests used to live? What was that about? Well, I was going to convert it and it was going to be my mansion. Well, why didn't you wait and build a foundation first? So sometimes you have to let them make a mistake just like a child, and then use that as an educational moment to sit down and say, you see, you made a decision here. I tried to caution you. I couldn't stop you. It's your life and your money. But now you see the results I was trying to help you avoid by doing what you were doing. Some, on the other hand, I have another client who's got his first
wait, hold on. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm still getting a double. I've been getting it, and that's why
what I'm trying to figure.
I feel like I'm misspeaking.
Okay, wait.
Because I'm getting a double voice still, and so
I don't know what.
I'm not knowing if I'm
Look, I got you on twice. Okay.
Okay.
That's better. Is that better?
I hear you fine. I
Okay.
still hear myself
So,
twice. That's
okay.
why but,
Did you just give me the ear wiggle?
no, I'm just saying my ears. I didn't
I know what that is. Okay, so now we're back to when you're talking to a young man who did not really understand that you don't leave a house empty with the water off and a cold environment and expect to come back and everything's gonna be fine.
yeah.
No, it don't
He
work.
he he was surprised to come back. His father got up there real quick and did some replumbing of it, and he learned. In fact, I'm not gonna tell on him.
No, come on, you can't. No, you started it. You got to finish this one. You just can't be hanging the sister out like that. What?
Okay,
It's
okay,
when you
okay.
see
The
now, y'all
young man
just so y'all know, we are cool with each other. I want to
the
hear finish it.
the young man I'm talking about was Michael Jordan. The first road trip after he bought a condominium in Chicago, he just didn't know that the pipes were subject to freezing and stuff, and Mr. Jordan had to go in there and repipe everything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, look what they say: a hard head make a soft behind.
well, I didn't know he was gonna turn his water off. I would have cautioned him had I known, but his first road trip, he's excited he's in the league. And if you knew Michael and his dad, I mean, that's the whole family was a loving family, but
Mm,
it just happened. So his
mm.
dad went in and changed everything.
Oh my goodness, and you could see the light come out of his eyes.
Yes.
He was just so all he wanted to do was please his dad, and his father loved him. And guys don't usually get that. And when that happens, and the vicious way, the unnecessary death of his father, period, and such a violent way, you could just see it. And it seemed like he played even harder after his father passed away.
Yeah, his father and I'm gonna tell you, Mrs. Jordan, I still care about her so
Mm,
much. She
mm,
just good people. And that's why in this business, be it Hollywood or in sports, a lot of times those good people behind the scene, you can see the character reflected in their children. But
mm,
when they're standing behind their children in support, it
mm.
makes a job like mine a little bit easier.
Mhm. When you know that you have that support, and it's gonna always be naysayers. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I had never gotten fired from a job until I came to LA. I mean,
Really?
and I worked since I was 14. It was like, okay, mother, if your services are no longer needed, I said, I gotta pay a play contract. I wasn't supposed to know that. See, they don't like it when you know stuff. They don't like it when you know stuff. And see, I knew stuff. And and oh no, you have to do it research. And I'm like, see, I didn't get the Hollywood handbook, and a lot of us did not get that handbook, whether we're going in front of the camera, behind the camera, on the court, on the field. We didn't get that. We're
Yes.
just like, oh my goodness, I could do this for my mama, I could do this for my, and then it could start coming out the closet, start coming out of the wood. Well, we was play cousins. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you some play money. How about you get that Monopoly book?
I understand. Believe
And after our son, it's really cool to say, "Oh, we have a son now. You only got one kid. You can send me. You can pay my rent for the rest of the year." I'm like, you would.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that.
I wasn't supposed to have a sense of humor when it came to them having their faults. Well, I had a relative call me up, Bill, and ask me. She said,
Mhm.
I'm tired of people talking about you, mother, love, mother. I know how you are. I know. I said, well, could you tell the media there's no such thing as bad press? They were like, we ain't talking to. Well, why you want to talk to me, stupid? Can you make it so I can make some money off of it? They don't want to do it. See, mm-mm, mm.
Yeah, you know how to roll.
And they're gonna still be family. And oftentimes you have to distance yourself, and that can cause, especially younger people, to feel, cut off. Well, my mother, my father, they, always got their hand. Where can I find some solace? And then here, this is what you do. And when you with the cohorts, because there's one coming up. Let's tell them when the next one coming
Oh,
up. There's another
okay.
cohort.
We're having,
And we could be talking all
like
day.
I mentioned, our cohorts are black and brown and women and military. So we're having an all women's pitch event next Wednesday. at the Women's Club in El Segundo. It's going to be 5 women, and I've got to coach them later today a bit about presentations. And we're going to have all female judges, and we're having a Miss Vivian Shimayoma, who is going to be the keynote speaker, who's started a company called Breakthrough Unlimited, which talks about cracking the glass ceiling. And it's really gratifying to see these young ladies and stand up there and make the pitches about the business, all in the effort to try to win a little bit of pitch money. But as I've told them, it's not about the money, it's about the experience. It's about forming relationships with other women who are trying to start their businesses. And so that works
90 seconds.
And then next November 16th, we're having a gala in Long Beach, a fundraiser, a casino night, where everybody's invited in. It's $100 admission, get $300 worth of chips. Of course, we're not handing out money, but it's a fundraiser for the Polk Institute itself. And hopefully it'll be a fun evening with a silent auction, other kinds of prizes and giveaways. So you, as a nonprofit, you've got to continue to
60 seconds.
understand.
And to keep it moving. And after they go through that, go through the program with you, tell them what the big deal is about getting involved with the Polk Institute and these cohort sessions.
I think the big thing is really a matter of tuition-free education.
That's it.
Mental toughness, operations, human resources, basic legal concepts. And you'd be surprised. Some people want to get into business and they say, well, what's a burn rate? Well, if you got a little money, you got to plan and budget out in front so you can stay in business. Well, how are you going to do that if all you got is a certain amount of money that won't even cover your operations for a week? You've got to plan and think. But it's that whole education thing, which is free of tuition charges.
Well, this is Mr. Bill Strickland. He's COO at the Polk Institute. The cohorts are at it again, gonna stay at it. Remember, babies, thank you so much for joining us. I thank you very, very much. And thank the Blaine Group for us hooking this up together. That's Bill Strickland. And babies, I want to tell you, no matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some mother love.
All right.